What's going on YouTube? So the Ford F-150 Raptor basically invented the super truck category when it first came out in 2010. And in the time since, it has become one of the most recognizable trucks on the road. But for the first time, it actually now has some competition in the form of the Ram TRX, which is why Ford has taken this winning formula and doubled down on it for this fully redesigned third generation Raptor. But without wasting any time, let's go ahead and jump right in and see if this is the ultimate truck. So getting started here with the exterior, this is a substantially new truck, even though it doesn't really look that way when you first take a glance at it. A lot of the design elements have carried over from the previous generation, including the really big signature ones like the Ford Raptor grille, where you have the big, bold Ford branding that goes all across the front in the nice matte black. And then of course you've got the integrated clearance lamps built in because they are legally required of something that's 86.6 inches wide. Absolutely gigantic. Now, as we move down below that, you're gonna notice the lower fascia here has this mesh design. You still have these real metal skid plates as well as the tow hooks down here. And as far as your ground clearance is concerned, you're looking at 12 inches as standard equipment, 13.1 if you get the optional 37-inch tires, and then you have approach and departure angles of 31 and 23.9 degrees respectively. Let's go ahead and jump up here to our headlights. These of course are updated to the latest Ford F-150 design with some unique elements for Raptor duty. There's two different setups. You're gonna have a full LED setup no matter what. They're gonna be reflector on the standard version, the 800A. If you choose the 801A model, you're gonna get these projector LED headlights with active bending abilities. You've got the really nice bracket-shaped daytime running light and turn signal indicator, as well as Raptor branding kind of inside of the shell. And then down here at the bottom, you have the rigid industry fog lamps as well. Now, of course, no off-road machine would be complete without some really aggressive wheels and tires. So what you're looking at is 17-inch cast aluminum wheels as standard equipment. However, you do have two optional beadlock capable alloy wheels. That's what we have on this specific example, as you can tell, finished in the full black with the nice looking Ford branding in the middle. Now the tires though, that's the more important part. You have really meaty all-terrain tires. This is the standard version. However, for the first time, Ford is offering an optional 37-inch tire, which I mentioned up there in the front. That changes a few other elements to give you that more off-road performance. But the main focus is the 37-inch tire itself being the largest that's ever been offered on a Raptor. It might be a little hard to see, but we also need to talk about the next generation Fox live valve shocks. These are better than ever, and they were already very capable. You now have 14 inches of travel in the front, 15 inches of travel in the back. And these things adjust something like 100 times per millisecond or something like that. Crazy fast. Up at the top, we have a functional vent. I can feel the heat coming out. And the mirrors are actually going to be fully loaded on every single version of the Raptor. So that means you have power folding, driver's side auto dimming, and blind spot monitoring.
Now, since this is a truck, we do need to talk about a few different things like the cab configurations as well as the bed sizes. For the Raptor, it is going to be pretty simple because all new for 2021 is that they have eliminated the short half-door configuration for the Raptor, so all of them are going to be full four-door with the 5.5-foot bed in the back. Now, let's walk around to that back and see what they've changed for this all-new Raptor in terms of the design. Now, this isn't going to be a crazy design shift. This looks pretty similar to the outgoing generation, which is certainly a good thing though. I think this is one of the best looking trucks money can buy. So here in the middle, we have all of this big Ford branding across the back and this nice matte black plastic That's going to be included if you go for the 801A package. And then on the sides, we're going to have new LED taillights. This is a different design than what it had before. And these are going to be full LED, including the reverse light. Then if we drop down to the bottom, the exhaust is going to look the same. However, they have changed it for this all-new model to make it sound burlier. And let's go ahead and take a listen to that. Now this is an F-150 after all, so of course the bed is still important even though this is the sportier F-150. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. So you can open it by just pushing that button, and as you're noticing right now, this is a full power tailgate, so it goes up and down. That's going to be an optional package for the Raptor. It's also grouped with the really handy dandy 2 kilowatt power generator over here. So I imagine a lot of you guys will be wanting that package that can allow you to basically fully power your house as well as have this power tailgate. But as far as the bed itself is concerned, it is going to be 5.5 foot. We have LED lighting on both of the sides as well as up there. Now they have also included a lot of useful things if you're using this truck for work. So for one, in the tailgate we have stamped in our measurements in inches as well as centimeters. And then off here on the side we do even have a bottle opener, so if you're thirsty on the job you can go ahead and crack that open. We do also have a tailgate step included within that. That's the same as the previous generation F-150. But in order to shut it up, just push the button and it will go ahead and go up. Now, one of the really nice elements about this F-150 Raptor is you're not going to have to worry about your safety systems because they're going to throw in every single one of them as standard equipment via their Co-Pilot 360 2.0 package. So that's going to include forward emergency braking and pedestrian detection, auto high beams, lane keeping assist, as well as adaptive cruise control with stop and go. Plus, you're even going to have an active drive assist prep kit, which will be activated later on. Well guys, they didn't change a lot with the Raptor's exterior design. I think that's personally a great thing, but the interior has changed quite a bit, so let's check that out before we take it out on a spin. And we would also really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button down below, as well as followed us on our other social medias like TikTok and Instagram.
So walking up to the new Raptor, of course you do have a standard smart entry system as well as remote start. And as you can see, the fob is branded specifically for the Raptor. And then of course to get inside the truck, just grab behind the handle and it will unlock. Got a really cool animation up there in the gauge cluster when you first open up the door. And of course, checking out the cabin. This is an all-new product and you have a all-new interior with all the latest F-150 design elements. But let's go ahead and talk about your different color and material options. You don't have a ton of choices, but what we have here is the standard seat. This is finished in black and it is in real leather with the kind of nice looking cloth inserts, as well of course as your Raptor branding and color contrast stitching. However, you can also get an optional Recaro leather seat, so it's going to be a more aggressive sport seat. And when you choose that option, that's going to come in the navy pear blue color scheme, which looks very, very nice. Now, as we turn over here to your door trim, you'll see the same materials reflected up here. So we have the black leather across the armrest with the stitching detail. We have this material throughout the cabin. It's kind of hard to describe, actually. It's a soft touch plastic material, but kind of rubbery, has the look of denim almost, but it's really nice looking. I definitely like that brands are trying new types of materials besides for just, you know, plain old black plastic. Over here we have the carbon fiber, this because we have the optional carbon fiber interior trim on this model. You got your standard 3-person memory seating. Your front 2 windows are one-touch auto up and down, and we also have the real metal speaker grills for that audio system I'll talk about in just a moment. Now as we turn over here to the seats, you're going to have a standard 10-way power adjusting seat with 2-way lumbar support. Like I was already mentioning, we do have real leather seats. But here's an up-close look at the cloth inserts over here on the bolsters. And I will add, these are tremendously comfortable to set in. Now, as a very tall truck, you are going to have standard running boards. These are cast aluminum, so you can hear that ting when I step on them. And getting in is pretty easy since they are very large and you have the driver's side assist grip. Now, like I was mentioning, of course, you do have all the latest design elements from the all-new F-150 product. One of the biggest things is that you have a substantial upgrade in material quality. So across our upper dashboard, we have that same material I pointed out from the door trim that's going to run all through here with the color contrast stitching detail. As we move below that, our centerpiece here is going to be finished in that carbon fiber since we have that option package. We've got a textured faux aluminum that runs through the middle portions here. As we move down, more of the carbon fiber, and over here is going to be a hard touch plastic. But like I was saying, really generally, beyond like visually looking at it, everything in here feels a lot more solid and really well put together. Now start up, put your foot on the brake, and press the standard button. So right as soon as you start it up, you'll be greeted with the 12-inch full digital gauge cluster, one of the biggest and nicest and most noticeable upgrades for this new generation, because this is a really nice looking display. Beautiful graphics, a lot of different design choices, and it's very fast performance as well. As you can see, you can scroll between different things. It's going to adjust the design, like when I went into the off-road mode. I also noticed that as you reach over and you change into different drive modes, you get really nice looking graphics that switch in here. I mean, this is really top-notch stuff with this display, really beautiful. Now, as we pull back to the steering wheel, of course you have the latest F-150 design with special upgrades for Raptor duty, including your Raptor branding, nice thick rim, you've got the French stitching through here, and the nice red accent up here at the top. Really nice feel in the hand as well. And as far as the wheel itself, it is going to be power adjusting and heated if you choose the 801A equipment group like this model has. Now down below, you've got your electronic parking brake down there. That of course is all your headlight as well as other lighting settings for the bed. And then you also have power adjusting pedals right there. All right, but let's go ahead and take a look at interior storage, because this is a truck. After all, you need to have plenty of utility, and indeed this does. So as we reach over here, open up this center console. As you can see, it is ginormous, as it is with any F-150. We have this little thing right here which we can take out and reveal an enormous amount of space. It is very deep, very wide. It does have a rubber lining at the bottom as well as 2 USB ports right there. And we did lose our coupons, so we're starting the collection over with only one. It's pretty sad. There it is. It looks so pitiful inside of this gigantic cave right here. Now, as we move on, we've got our 2 cup holders right there, a little bit of storage through here. Slide back this piece of carbon fiber. This is going to reveal a really nice place for your phone. You got a wireless phone charging pad, more USB connections, as well as more storage right through there. Down along both sides of this, you have storage, and of course you have a lot of storage inside the door trims as well as up here on the top. But let's of course talk about the shifter, because this is everyone's favorite element. The Raptor does indeed have this from the F-150, so if you press that button, it's going to fold out of the way. You can reach up here, take this part, fold that down, and you now have a full desk, so you can stick a laptop or anything you need, something to write on, and do work here. So this is still very utilitarian in that sense. As far as the shifter itself, nice leather wrapping on this. Pull back for drive, of course. You can press the M if you want to shift manually. And because this is a Raptor after all, we have the gigantic real metal paddle shifter. It's one of my favorite elements. These things feel fantastic to touch and look great as well. When we head into reverse, you have a standard backup camera on all the models as well as rear parking sensors. But included with the 801A package is going to be this 360-degree camera system you see here, which takes up this entire large display. Up at the top here, we can also change between our different drive modes, including a feed of the bed and also a angle to switch or to connect a trailer. As we move beyond that, up the dashboard, we have a lot of different things to look at. You'll notice some more connections over here, 12-volt outlet as well as a full household outlet. On this side, you've got your four-wheel drive controls as well as your drive mode controls, which I was just showing you over there in the display, trailer brake controller. You also have the trailer backup assist. And then as we pull over here, we have our dual zone automatic climate control setup. Of course, very easy to use, just like in all F-150s. Physical buttons nicely laid out through there. The Raptor does come standard actually with 3-stage heated and ventilated seats, which is a nice touch, but be aware if you choose those optional Recaros, you will lose that ability. And then above that, we have our audio system. So on this model with the 801A, we have the really advanced 18-speaker Bang & Olufsen Unleashed sound system. So we'll go ahead and give that a sample right now. And for those of you guys who don't know, this Unleashed sound system with the 18 speakers does include speakers inside the headrest as well as right above the driver, or passenger and driver, and all of them are metal speaker grills pretty much, so that's a big plus as well. Okay, so now let's take a look here at another one of our core technology upgrades for this new generation, and that is the brand new Sync 4 system and this very large 12-inch display. So as you can see, this is a huge display, really nice graphics, just like with the gauge cluster. And right now what I'm in is the Android Auto ecosystem. This does run wirelessly as well as Apple CarPlay, of course, as standard features. As far as the system itself, we have the optional navigation system. You also have over here on the side the ability to have extra things up at the same time. You can switch between items really quickly, and responsiveness is very nice. Now as we jump above here, we've got our auto dimming mirror. HomeLink universal remotes are located right there. And then taking a look at the top, just like with past Raptors, Ford just goes ahead and includes these nice auxiliary switches, which is really cool. So when you attach various powered accessories in the future, you can just flip these switches and they'll be powered on. You still have a sunglass holder right there. You got your power rear window, and we also have the panoramic sunroof. This is an option for $1,500, but as you can see, it is extremely large. It goes all the way back to the back.
Alright guys, so join me in the Raptor's rear area. Now of course, since this is crew cab only, you are going to have a lot of space. So we have 43 inches of legroom, 40 inches of headroom, which is just an incredible amount of space. I mean, honestly, this is about as big as it can get. Behind your seating position, I probably have 1.5 feet of space. My feet can easily slide up underneath the seat. So there's just a ton of space. Now it is a little bit less than that of the Ram truck, but overall this is plenty of space, trust me. Now as far as the features I've thrown in, this is also a luxurious truck. So here in the middle we have cup holders up top. Then dropping down below that, we have a 12-volt power outlet. We also have 2 charging USB ports. We have a Type-C as well as just a regular USB charging. Then beside that, we also have a household-style outlet. And then above that, we have our optional 2-stage heated rear seats. That's going to be included on a package on the Raptor. And beside that, we do also have our large vents. Now, if we drop down the center armrest, we are going to have cup holders inside. Now, as you would expect out of an F-150, this thing needs to be very versatile for whatever you're going to use this truck for. So the seat bottoms can fold up, and underneath you do have this area right here that has lots of space. It goes across the entire length of the floor, and you can also lock this as well. And then we can also fold the seat backs down. Now the passenger seat will be power adjusting, and it's actually quite a few ways of power adjustment. You have up and down, side by side, as well as the lumbar support. Then if we open up the glove box in front of us, this is a decent amount of space. It's definitely very wide. It's not super deep, but it's definitely wide enough to fit in our coupon. And I did say coupon. We lost the rest of them, so we're down to one, unfortunately. So it does fit in there, no problems. And then up above that, we also have this little storage area right here that can also fit a few coupons in there. And then up top, we have a sun visor, LED lighting, a mirror, and we can also detach it as well as extend it.
And just like that, above 60 miles per hour. This thing absolutely scoots. Incredible performance, just like Raptors have always been known for. So what do we have on board powering this? We actually have the same powertrain as last year. So this is Ford's high output 3.5 liter twin turbocharged EcoBoost V6, 450 horsepower, 510 pound-feet of torque, which are really nice numbers, of course. And as you can tell, 0 to 60, I don't have the exact number, but 0 to 60 is fast.
Yeah, it's definitely very quick. It's when you get in this, it just is like surprising to you that a giant vehicle like this can get up to speed that fast.
I do want to mention that exhaust that you can tell certainly has been enhanced. It's a lot louder than what I remember the outgoing generation being. Sounds burlier. You do have the different exhaust modes, so I am in the sport exhaust right now. Right here on the steering wheel, you actually have individual settings that you can configure for all three different areas, which would be your dampers, your steering, and your exhaust, that you can just adjust that on the fly into custom combinations, so that's really cool. There's a Raptor R coming. Ford has already confirmed that. They haven't said exactly what's going to power it, but one could assume it's going to be a large V8. So, keep in mind that that is coming, and that will probably go head-to-head. But I mean, as far as acceleration, this really feels very close to, if not just as fast as the TRX that we were in. I mean, no, it doesn't have a big burly V8 sound, but it has a cool sound, and it feels really quick.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and get our sound level reading going 55. Looking at 56.1 decibels for the Raptor. That's certainly a really, really good reading. And that just kind of ties into the overall just ride quality and comfort that this Raptor is going to have. That's one of my favorite things about this vehicle, is that you're really not sacrificing anything by going for the Raptor. Inside of here, it feels very much like a Platinum. I'm so comfortable. These seats, they've made even more comfortable this year. And let's go ahead and mention today's airball and slam dunk. So for today, I'm going to say the slam dunk is going to be the updates to this interior. This is really exactly what the Raptor needed, the updated technology, the digital gauges, this large display here in the middle. And it's also just overall a lot more luxurious, especially for the price tag of a Raptor. It, you know, seems to fit the price tag now.
Right. We all already knew, you know, it's going to get more capable than it already was, which is very capable. But the biggest leap forward is definitely the interior. Now, on the airball side of things, we're just going to say that it could look more different on the outside from the outgoing generation.
Yeah.
It's while it's very good looking, no one can really say that it doesn't look nice. It just doesn't look particularly new. I don't think it would get too much attention as far as looking radically different than the outgoing model. Yeah, when you go over bumps in this thing, it's like what bump. Obviously, like I said, at the outside, you're talking about 15 inches of travel, so a big thing that people like to do with these is jump over sand dunes and things like that. Obviously, we're not going to be doing that in today's video, but that capability is there. But let's talk about the transmission. Obviously, that's a key part of this powertrain. We've got a 10-speed automatic transmission. As you would expect, Ford has tuned this to be much more aggressive as far as your shifting patterns. So I do notice when I change my position on the gas pedal, you're going to get a lot of immediate response. There's a ton of different gears that it can go between, so you're looking at the ability to drop several at a time. And it's really smooth. It's not something that you can feel. The only indication is you can switch to a screen where you can actually see like the numbers as it goes through the gears, but otherwise you really don't have any idea of what gear you're in or anything like that.
And as far as your fuel economy is concerned, it does depend a little bit on what tire you choose, but most of the models like this one will be rated at 15 combined, 14 city, 18 highway.
Which is not too bad, really.
Yeah, no, not too bad.
Definitely better than a TRX.
Now, as far as the pricing is concerned, this is also another element that's also pretty impressive. So you're going to start at $64,140. So really not much more expensive than something like a Platinum now, and it's definitely going to be a lot cheaper than the TRX.
Right. Just be aware it is more expensive than last year by quite a bit because you don't have that smaller cab option, so that does bump the price by a good deal.
Yeah, and this one's fully loaded pretty much is going to be $78,915.
But overall, I mean, we already really love the Raptor, and I think Ford did exactly what they needed to do with the Raptor. They added even more capability, just a sprinkling of better in basically every regard. But as far as the weak areas, if there was any, it would have been things like the interior, and that has been completely fixed with this all-new generation of F-150 interior. Special bits for the Raptor as well. I mean, overall, basically this is even more of an appealing package than ever before.
Well guys, that's all for our in-depth review of the all-new 2021 Ford Raptor. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Even if you didn't find either one of those things true, please also subscribe or follow us on our other social media such as TikTok and Instagram for shorter form content. Anyway, we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.